Good morning. It is Monday. It is October 17th. I am here on my Peloton. This is the third time I'm shooting this because I will not be editing and I need to look over here until this weekend. But I can shoot it a couple times, but I'm getting close to my treadmill limit here at a 2.6. I'm going to do the New Mexico run, and I've lived in New Mexico. It is a stunning state. Okay, so yesterday when I got off the treadmill, I watched Egg of the Dragon, The Journey of Remembering with Matteo De Stefano on Gahhhh. Who is this person? Very interesting. Like, look him up. His first series I came into contact with him was Initiation. I didn't really care for it at the time. I was like, okay, this is pretty out there. It's pretty strange. Now, just in the last couple of years, I find myself journeying back to a lot of it, but I think I'm ready for it. And I think that's a really interesting thing about the universe and your comfort level. It's what I like about Gahhhh, is I don't feel like they try to control the programming. I'm not in the world of Gahhhh. You know that as you get deeper into anything, there's kind of a lot more noise. So could be wrong about that, but from a here's what's going on or what we think is going on, just a plethora. You can do simple yoga to really out there stuff. Anyway, I found my way back to him. I can't remember the path, and now I'm watching his series, The Journey of Remembering, which I think is amazing. Some of it's still like, ooh, okay, but very interesting. I think a couple things in this episode, he talked a lot about being human. I don't know if any of you have struggled with that, but I certainly have at points in my life, just more with like, what are we doing here? We're awful to each other. If you study history at all, we've done some really heinous things, and I don't think in just the parts that we can remember. But we've also done some really wonderful things too, and I think putting your energy and focus certain places is something that's really come home to roost with me the last year in particular. I think the universe will be respectful of your level of comfort. I know that in my past, there are things that have happened and I'm like, ooh, I'm not ready for this. And then I'm like, full stop. And I find myself asking like a year or two later, where's all this stuff gone that was happening? And I wake up and I kind of start to go down a new path. I think in Anatomy of a Spirit and Beyond the Flower of Life, they both kind of address maybe why this happens. But I think you will be led to what you're prepared to handle. And when you start really stopping, trying to tone down some of this noise, which I think that's the really great thing about meditation, you start to get answers. And it's not this smooth path. It's more like a sine wave, up and down, up and down. But that's what makes life interesting, correct? Anyway, so we have Mateus, and so when I was sitting over there and I was journaling, I also remembered a documentary called Fish People. If you've not seen it, it's by director Keith Malloy. Fabulous. Not only is it beautiful from a visual perspective, it takes these 6 to 8 people and it talks about their lives, and they're ordinary people. And I think while we need our celebrities, we need our visionaries, we need whatever you choose to call them, prophets, ascended masters, whatever, to show us what is possible, we also need ordinary people to show us it is possible, that you can do it. Anyway, so check out this documentary. In particular, Kimmy Werner, she's the first person in the documentary, and she talks about, they are talking about her childhood, how she developed a relationship with the sea, and when she's below water, she's talking about how the signs are everywhere. Well, when you first get into that environment, I don't know about you, but I'm not particularly fond of water. I love it, but not to be in it with no rooting or sense of space and time. She talks about being pulled somewhere you might not be ready to go. And I think that happens on land to a lot more of us than we're aware of. That's kind of part of this. I know where I spend my time and what I think, but I'm like, where are we? How many people are having these things happen to them? I suspect quite a bit as of late. And how do we mainstream this more? Probably to people who were doing this in the 70s, they're like, oh man, again, that's why I talk about standing on the shoulders of giants. But you can stop any of this at any time, as we talked about, or you can surrender to it. And for me, it feels like I'm being pulled home, and she actually talks about that too, but full of water. No street signs, no way of telling which way to turn or go, yet the signs are everywhere. If you're just quiet, ergo meditation, you start to ask the right questions, and then you listen. I'm not so good at listening, but I have been asking for a long time, who am I? What am I here to do? I suspect, like many people, what's the point of all this? But I don't think I've been listening. So I think the universe, while it will adjust itself to your comfort level, it is going to start making it harder and harder not to listen. Ergo, this. Okay, I'm going to finish my walk, try to kick it up to a 3, although this has taken a lot more time this morning than it did yesterday. I'm going to be, well, I was going to be watching Transcending the Biblical Narrative Part 1, but I'm going to have to try to get my act together sooner tomorrow. I got out of bed a little bit late, heading into winter, and it's hard to get out, but I'm here, so yay! And have a blessed day, and I will see you back here tomorrow. Gahhhh.